Hello and welcome to our third session, and in this session we are going to configure another two machines for our AI development process. The next machine comes under 3 lakh slab. It comes with i9 10th generation processor, that is i9 10900 with 20 MB cache memory. It has motherboard Z490X gaming from Gigabyte. It has 16 GB DDR4 RAM put in 4 slots. That is, the total RAM of this machine is 64 GB. It has 1 TB NVMe M2 SSD drive, which we are going to install our Windows operating system, and additional 1 TB NVMe M2 SSD storage. This we are going to use it for our AI development process. And finally, the powerhouse here is the NVIDIA RTX 3080 card from Gigabyte, which has 10 GB of video RAM. So now let us configure this machine for our AI application. Now, as soon as the system starts booting, press F2 or Del depending upon your motherboard to enter the CMOS BIOS. Now, come into the advanced mode, and here in the favorites, you have CSM setup. See that it is disabled. VTD is enabled. Now come into setting, IO port, and you have above 4G decoding here. Enable this. Once you enable this, you will see this resize bar support. Set it to auto. Now come to save and exit. Choose the option save and exit setup, and now click yes here to restart the machine. In my 3080 machine, I have just now installed Windows. If I come into the Windows settings, I will come into Windows Update and click on check for update. You can now see a new preview update available. I will click on download and install. Once all the update has been carried out, I will next come here in the search and search for device manager. Open the device manager. See that all the components are enabled, and you should not see any question mark here. If you see any question mark, then that particular driver will be missing. Identify that component, download the driver from the net and install it, so that when you see in the device manager, you should not see any question mark against any of the components here. Open your browser and come into nvidia.com website. If it asks for this cookies, click on accept all and come into the drivers. Come into manual driver search and product category, choose GeForce. Select RTX 30 series. In this list, select RTX 3080, and in the platform, I am going to select Windows 11 and click on find. You have a game ready driver and a NVIDIA Studio Driver. We have to install NVIDIA Studio Driver for our AI application. So if I click on view here, you can come and download this software. Right now I am not downloading it because this has already been installed. I will close the browser, come into the search and type command prompt, click on run as administrator, type here nvidia-smi and press enter. Now if you scroll up, you can now see that I have the driver version 591.74, CUDA version is 13.1. This has 10 GB of VRAM. If this shows, this means that your NVIDIA driver is now ready to use. In this command prompt, type systeminfo and press enter. So now this gives you the complete information. I will scroll to the top, select this H, scroll down, and with shift press, click on the last option over here. Press Ctrl C to copy. Then open any of your Word application or your notepad, and in a blank document, place your entire system information. Go to file and save this so that later on we can share it to know the feasibility of our system to different Hugging Face models. One important factor you can see here is hypervisor enforced code integrity is switched on. We have to switch this off. I will close my Word document. I will also close my command prompt. Come into the Windows. I will come into settings. If you come into privacy and security, come into Windows security. You have device security, click on it. You have core isolation. Click on core isolation details. You have memory integrity. Switch it off and close this. Close your settings window. Come into your Windows menu and click here and now restart your machine. Now next we have to tweak our NVIDIA graphics settings. Last session we came into the system tray, right clicked on this NVIDIA icon and we used NVIDIA control panel. But the same controls can also be altered using the NVIDIA app. So I will click on NVIDIA app and I will come into graphics and you have two settings here. Program setting means related to different programs and you also have global setting. I will come into global setting and you have power management mode which is set to normal. Click here and I will select preserve maximum performance. Below that you have shader cache size. I will click here, scroll down and I will set it to unlimited. And now in the NVIDIA app I am not seeing this CUDA fallback facility. So for that I will close my NVIDIA app. I will come into system tray, in the NVIDIA setting, right click and come into the control panel. If it asks for this license agreement, click on agree and continue. When you open first time, it will ask for the license agreement. Come into manage 3D setting. You have CUDA system fallback policy. Click here and choose no system fallback and click on apply. Close the NVIDIA control panel, come back to Windows settings. I will come into systems, select display. I will scroll down and come into graphics. See that optimization of windowed games is switched on and in the advanced graphics setting, open this and see that hardware accelerated GPU scheduling is on. With this setting done, I will close my settings window. Even in this machine, I am using C drive for my Windows installation and for my Windows subsystems for Linux and for all my AI models. I am using this D drive which is also a NVMe M2 drive. I will double click to open this and I have created a folder called AI Studio and inside that I have created assets, audio, models, projects, render, Windows, workflows and WSL folder. Now the next machine that we are going to work is a laptop. So we are using a MSI Katana B13V laptop. It is an i9 13th generation machine, i9 13600. It comes with MSI Katana motherboard. It has 16 GB into 2 DDR4 RAM. So the total RAM is 32 GB. It has 1 TB NVMe M2 SSD storage which we are going to use for installation of our Windows operating system and an additional 2 TB NVMe M2 drive which we are going to use it for our AI content generation. And finally, the main powerhouse is the NVIDIA RTX 4060 card with 8 GB of video RAM. So now let us configure this laptop for our AI application. Now, as you start your laptop, keep pressing the Del button and this will bring the BIOS setup screen. Here, come into the advanced setting. See that the VTD is enabled. Next, the user scenario is set to maximum performance. Now, click on save and exit setup, confirm it and restart your laptop. Now in this laptop, we have installed the basic Windows and after installation, come into Windows settings, come into Windows update and click on check for update and see that your Windows is up to date. Now I will close this setting, come into the search panel here and I will search for device manager, click on open. See that all the devices are correctly installed and you are not seeing question mark on any of the devices here. I will close the device manager. Open the browser and come to nvidia.com, come to drivers and in product categories choose GeForce, select 40 series notebook, then select 4060 laptop GPU, select Windows 11 and click on find. You now have the game ready driver and the NVIDIA Studio Driver. Click on view, download. Once it is downloaded, come to the downloaded file. Now I will right click and click on run as administrator and click OK to extract all the files from this zipped installer. Select NVIDIA graphic card with NVIDIA app. Click on agree and continue. And in the installation option, you can choose express and continue it. Here I will choose custom, next, and I will ask it to perform a clean installation and click on next and wait for the installation to complete. Now once the installation is complete, see that launch NVIDIA app is ticked and click on close. This will open the NVIDIA app. Here select NVIDIA Studio Driver as your preferred driver and click next, and leave all the options as it is here and click on next. Enable NVIDIA overlay, leave it on and click on next. And here if you want, you can log in with your account, and once you are logged in here, you can come here into the drivers and you can see that now we have the latest studio driver 591.74 already installed. I will come into the graphics. I will come into global settings, move down, and in the power management mode, click here and choose prefer maximum performance. And in the shader cache size, I will click here and choose unlimited. I will close my NVIDIA app. I will now come into the system tray, select this NVIDIA app icon, right click and choose NVIDIA control panel. Now here come into manage 3D setting, CUDA system fallback policy. Click on this and select prefer no system fallout and then click on apply. I will close the NVIDIA control panel and also this program window and also this browser. I will come into my Windows icon and here I will come back to settings. Come here into privacy and security. Choose Windows security. Open device security and you have core isolation. Click on core isolation details and disable memory integrity. Now close Windows security and then in settings come into system, display, come into graphics and you see that optimized for Windows games is on, and in advanced graphics settings see that hardware accelerated GPU scheduling is on. I will close the setting, come to Windows and now restart the laptop. Now come into the Explorer. This PC, this is our C drive where we have installed our Windows operating system, and now in the D drive we are going to store all our AI created content. So open D, create a folder called AI Studio, and inside that you have an assets folder, create an audio folder, create a models folder, create a projects folder, create a renders folder, create a Windows folder, create a workflows folder, and create a WSL folder. The machine configuration is complete, and from the next session, let us start with our AI related software installation.